I'm Faith.
I'm Sherilyn. And I'm Caitlin. Where would we be if not for our explorers?
Despite the fact that some did invade into a country without the discoveries, many countries would have developed into the countries we know today.
Explorers like Hernan Cortez, Vasco da Gama, and Columbus opened up their home countries to new discoveries and opportunities. Spain, Hernan Cortez was a soldier in the Cuban expedition who ignored his orders and traveled to Mexico and had dreams of overthrowing the Aztec leader Montezuma II. Although the Aztecs did drive the Spanish from their land, Cortez returned and kidnapped the leader Montezuma. Montezuma's soldiers raided the city and Cortez was arrested. He later returned to find a rebellion and took the city in 1521. He continued to seek wealth and land and recognition for his achievements. Hernan Cortez died in Spain in 1547.
Like all other explorers during the final age of exploration, you got Ferdinand Magellan, who sought for a westward route for the Spice Islands, commissioned by Charles I of Spain, or Charles V of the Holy Roman Empire, for those of you who still care about that old Roman glory. He set off in 1519, facing some sort of setbacks along the way, such as a notable mutinous accident in the Straits that will later bear his namesake in 1520. He died in the Philippines in 1521, which didn't exactly make him the first person to circumnavigate the globe, which was left for his remaining crewmates, but he was the one who led that first expedition,
Christopher Columbus was a famous Italian explorer who was born in Genoa in 1451. And as we all know, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492 and discovered the New World. However, he did it accidentally. Him and his crew set sail from Spain in 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. On October 12th, he made landfall, but not in Asia, as he had assumed, but he stumbled upon the Americas. Although his trip in 1492 was his most famous exploration, it was not his only one. The explorer Christopher Columbus actually made 4 trips across the Atlantic Ocean from Spain in 1492, 1493, 1498, and 1502. He was determined to find a direct water route west from Europe to Asia, but he never did. Instead, he accidentally came across the Americas. He was not really the first person to discover America because many people had already lived there, but he did mark the beginning of a transatlantic conquest and colonization. Columbus got stranded in Jamaica on his way to the New World, and knowing of a future lunar eclipse, told the locals that if they didn't take care of his crew, the moon would disappear. Zheng He was a Chinese admiral, diplomat, and explorer who rose to great prominence during the 1300s, in spite of being castrated and enslaved earlier in his life. The famous British explorer David Livingstone once had all of his supplies stolen while he was in Africa, and in order to get food from the natives, he had to eat his meals in a roped-off enclosure, which served as entertainment for the locals. David Douglas, a Scottish explorer, died in Hawaii after falling into a pit and being crushed by a bull that had fallen into the same pit. Columbus's ship captain Rodrigo de Triana was the first to spot land, but Columbus claimed that he had seen it several hours earlier. In this way, he secured the lifetime pension promised by King Ferdinand for being the first to make the sighting. Dear Hawaiians, despite the fact that you brutally killed James Cook, here are some great things about him. If it wasn't for Captain Cook, Australia and New Zealand might not be part of the English-speaking world we know today. The map of his many voyages of explorations is a tangled squiggle of lines traversing the world's oceans. However, despite the unprecedented scale and scope of Cook's voyages, some of his biggest historical impacts were related to practical innovations and technological developments. Cook circumnavigated the world without losing a sailor to scurvy and pioneered developments in measuring latitude and longitude. He also included several scientists on his voyages whose observations greatly increased the scope of knowledge in Great Britain and beyond. So there is why Captain James Cook is an exceptional explorer. Sincerely, New Zealanders and Australians.